all indications, like all of them, is that that lie is going to be that there is a craft slowly making its way to us here on earth. And that is the lie they're going to want you to believe.
In 2024, a UFO researcher named Jeremy Corbell came out with some information. And he said that the government is going to tell us a very specific lie about an approaching alien craft. And the date, he said, 2027. Now, if you guys don't know who Jeremy Corbell is, he's the one who claims to have insider information. And he says that all these government employees and all these top secret people who work with UFOs and with the UFO program, they give him stuff. They come to him and they give him information. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, right. And I'm right there with you. I believe that if he really is getting information from the government, it's not information that's legit. This is a psyop. This guy is being given false information so that he can come out and give the public this false information for whatever reason the government wants. If they want to accomplish something with this information, or if it's just some sort of disinformation in order to get people off the track of something that's actually going on. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, he said that he received information that there will be an alien invasion, or more specifically, there's an alien craft headed towards us, okay? He said it's approaching Earth as we speak, and he gave us a date, okay? Like I said, 2027. Now, the real question is this: 2027 as in the date that it arrives, or 2027 as in the date that they're going to disclose it to us, right? I think that the date 2027 that he's saying is the date that the government is going to say that the spaceship arrives, okay?
It's so you can set them up to believe a lie. And that's coming. I have zero doubt. That lie is coming.
What is the lie?
Specifically, you want me to say it right now? For real? Real? On camera. To be put in the show?
Yeah.
Okay. Problem with that. If we tell the lie before it's told, they can adapt. That wouldn't be wise. I'll tell you privately, but I would really think about if you want to put this in your show. For real. That's a real thing I'm telling you. So will you think about it before putting it in your show?
Absolutely.
Okay. So UFOs are real, and they've been here a long time, and that's the truth. But the lie is coming. All indications, like all of them, is that that lie is going to be that there is a craft slowly making its way to us here on earth. And that is the lie they're going to want you to believe. It's nuanced, how they explain that, the nature of that threat. But that 100% is the lie you are going to be told. You even got a date. People have been whispering a date for a long time now. I know where that lie comes from. I know specifically what document from the 70s initiated the idea of that lie. A classified document. That is the lie you will be told. You're going to be told that there is a craft on its way to Earth. That's the lie. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I sent you 2 texts today with a year. Not from me. Nope. I'm not going to propagate that lie. Not going to be part of it. Not going to say it to the camera. Everybody knows. Just start paying attention. And they'll change the date, especially if they see this. Things will change. Because maybe I'm trustworthy. Maybe I'm worthy of your trust. Maybe I've told you the truth the whole way through it. Now you can verify it. If that's the case, then I'm dangerous. You've been told the truth about UFOs for a long time now. It's been pretty orchestrated. It's been pretty clear. And it's using people that are telling the truth and want to tell the truth. Ultimately, they want you to know something. They want you to know UFOs are real. Thank God we're finally there. We're all there now. They want you to know the truth. But why they want you to know that truth now Hope I'm wrong, but it's terrifying. Think about it. Maybe it's good to get ahead of it. Call it out now before they do it. I'll be called crazy. That's okay.
Now, this whole thing could just be a psyop, and it probably is, honestly. I think it really is a psyop. However, if the government is going to give a psyop this big to the people, it must be pretty big, and there must be a reason for it, a very specific reason, because they're not going to just come out and say there's an alien spaceship headed towards Earth, unless they have something specific in mind, and it's already pre-planned out step by step. Okay, let's back up a little bit. All right, and in July 2025, something was discovered. Something was discovered called 3I Atlas. Okay, 3I Atlas, according to Professor Avi Loeb from Harvard, he said it might be an alien ship. Exactly what Corbell is saying, okay? And we all know Avi Loeb from Harvard he's one of them. Whatever he says is been curated by whoever's pulling his strings, by his handlers, okay? And Avi Loeb is saying that there's a whole bunch of different reasons why this 3I Atlas ship is not a comet and that it could be an alien spaceship. So what if this is the warning that Corbell is talking about? This is exactly what he told us would happen, and it seems to be happening right now. All over social media, people are saying that this 3I Atlas is a spaceship. I don't think it is, by the way. I really don't think it's an alien spaceship. The fact that they're saying it's an alien spaceship, or that they're encouraging people to believe that it's an alien spaceship, rings all the bells and throws up all the red flags for me, because whenever the masses of people believe something, there's usually something forcing them to believe that, or guiding them, gently nudging them towards that belief, which indicates a psyop. I think it's a psyop. But before I get ahead of myself, let's back up a little bit. So this Harvard professor, Avi Loeb, is saying that 3I Atlas, the comet, might not be natural. In fact, it probably isn't natural. He's not saying 100%, but he's giving that inclination that it's not natural. Avi Loeb is the former chair of Harvard's astronomy department. It's not some fringe blogger. It's not some conspiracy theorist. Harvard, okay? Harvard is supposed to invoke feelings of authority and confidence that what this person is saying is correct. But for me, it's the opposite. Whenever I hear Harvard professor says X, I believe the opposite of what they're saying is true. That's just who I am. That's my nature. I don't really believe what people say. So in this case specifically, if he's saying that it's something, I don't believe it is. And yes, I've looked into it, okay? I've looked at a lot of the claims and a lot of the science that comes out around this. And let's just say, I think it's a psyop, okay? So they're saying this thing is an interstellar object, okay? 3I Atlas. 3I, because it's the third interstellar object that's been discovered. And also 3I. What's that sound like to you? Third eye, okay? The spiritual connection between that and what they're trying to get us to believe is not to be taken lightly. So Professor, is he a professor or doctor? Let's just call him Professor Loeb. He's saying that this 3I Atlas is displaying 9 anomalies, and it makes it unlike anything that people have ever witnessed before, anything science has ever seen before, and unlike any comet ever observed, okay? He says the trajectory is very specific and it aligns with the Earth's orbital plane. He said it's like there's a 0.2 million% chance, the size of it, more massive than any previous interstellar object ever seen by human eyes. Like I said, this is all coming from Avi Loeb, and I'm not convinced, okay? But I am convinced about something else, and we'll talk about that at the end. So he says that this comet, okay, it's made out of industrial grade nickel, which doesn't exist in nature. He says that it shows gravitational acceleration without a visible comet tail. He says that it arrives perfectly timed to be behind the sun during the closest approach. And he said there's a specific reason for that. And he's never seen it before. He says that the color changed from red to green to blue, and he claimed that that was brighter than the sun itself. And if it was brighter than the sun itself, how come we can't see it? Okay? How come you can't see it without telescopes? Doesn't make any sense. That claim is laughable. You might say, well, it's a relative brightness. It's based on all these different metrics. No, to say something is brighter than the sun itself, It needs to be so visible in daylight that it will burn your eyes if you look at it. And this is not what's happening with Comet 3i Atlas, okay? Avi Loeb has been quoted saying that if it's technological in nature, the people who made it, they master the capabilities well beyond what we possess. And that's obviously a given, right? If this thing is a UFO spaceship coming at us, and I do believe in UFOs, by the way, I just don't think this is one, um, then obviously it would be more advanced than humanity, right? Than all of humanity, because that's the nature of it. So mainstream science, what are they saying? They're saying, oh, it's a comet, it's an unusual comet, but there's nothing, there's nothing alien here. Loeb is saying it could possibly be alien. So he's at odds with mainstream science at the moment, okay? Most scientists are saying it's literally just a regular comet. Yes, it's displaying characteristics that we've never seen before, especially in an interstellar object, but it's just a regular comet, okay? But here's the thing, guys. The internet is losing it. People are literally going insane over this. There's TikTok clips that are viral, millions and millions of views, YouTube, Instagram, you name it, all over social media. People are freaking out about this, saying that there's an alien invasion coming. It's an alien mothership. They're here. December 19th, it's the closest it's going to get to Earth, and millions of people are going to see it. The end of the world is here, guys. Listen, all that hype that's happening around this is not organic, in my opinion. It's very specific, and they're perpetrating this idea on purpose in order to get people to believe this thing is an alien spaceship. Exactly what Jeremy Corbell said, that they're going to be tricking humanity, that a big lie is coming, okay? Like I said, I don't trust Jeremy Corbell, but if he's telling us this, I do believe that the government has told him that, and that, let's just say, they are planning something big. What that is, I think we all know what that is, right? And if this announcement is made to the public saying, hey, in 2027, this ship will arrive and it is an alien ship, what do you think is going to happen? Reagan told us it would happen, right? And I'm sure you've all seen this clip before, but here it is in case you haven't.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
So here's the question that nobody's asking. Nobody, except for a couple people here and there. The question that should really be asked by everybody, nobody's asking it. And it's this: why do they want people to believe it's aliens? And by they, I mean Avi Loeb and the internet in general, okay? Why are they pushing this narrative that it is aliens? So Corbell's saying that there's a classified document from the 1970s, a document that basically says that they're planning this narrative of an alien invasion by 2027. I don't know what document he's talking about, or if there really is any document, or if the whole document thing is a psyop itself. I don't know. But what I do know is this is what he's been told. And according to him, he's not the only person who's been told this. A lot of other people are echoing this 2027 narrative as well. He's saying you're going to be told that there is a craft slowly making its way to Earth. That is the lie. There is no craft, he's saying. He's saying that that is 100% a lie. You're going to be told it, but it's not true. So even Jeremy Corbell is on this whole PSYOP train. And, I don't know if he's linking 3i Atlas together with this, but I am, because they seem to be fitting, right? He says, on one hand, we have 2027, a big lie about an alien invasion. And here we have 3i Atlas that is being portrayed as that exact alien invasion, okay? And then you have CIA officer John Ramirez, who went on multiple podcasts saying that the government is preparing for disclosure in 2027. Ooh, CIA. Okay. I mean, if a CIA agent says left, go right. If they say jump, sit down. Because whatever they say is not accurate. That's their job. That's the nature of these people. Okay. Their nature is to deceive you. And if you listen to what they're saying, he's saying that disclosure by 2027, it might actually be what's the plan is, but you have to think about it like this. It's not a real disclosure. It's a fake disclosure, because the real disclosure would involve admitting that they are demons, that they're fallen angels, and that they derive from the spiritual realm. And that furthermore, that they are afraid of Jesus Christ and shudder at his name, just like demons do. Did you know there's over 800 reports of people who have been abducted or have close contact with UFOs or aliens or whatever that said the name of Jesus Christ makes them flee? It's in this book right here. If you're interested in this book, it's out of print, but this is the book that has all these witness testimonies of people using the name of Jesus to get rid of this phenomenon. So if they're spiritual in nature, which they are, and the government says, hey, there's UFOs, it's real, all this stuff, that's the psyop. The psyop is they're saying it's nuts and bolts when in fact it's spiritual, okay? That's the trick. That's the sleight of hand, especially with Three Eye Atlas. Okay, this whole thing is extremely suspicious to me, and it should be to you too. Look, guys, they've been floating this idea for decades. Alien invasion, the ultimate unifier, right? It's the threat that makes you accept anything to feel safe. The one world government. Total control, total surveillance, digital currency, social credit scores, all of that, okay? And it's all justified because the aliens are coming, guys. The aliens are coming, so we must all unite. Give me a break. And you know why? It's because 2,000 years ago, Jesus Christ himself warned us about this playbook. And what am I talking about? If you know, you know, and I'm going to tell you right now. That way, if you don't know, then you know, okay? Matthew 24:24, he said that false messiahs and false prophets will appear, and they're going to perform great signs and wonders to deceive people, even the elect, if possible. Okay? What does that mean? It means that the majority of the elect, they're going to see through it because we know that these are spiritual things, that these are fallen angels, that they're demonic, and that they're not what they claim to be. So I'm thinking, what if Three Eye Atlas isn't first contact? No. It's a conditioning operation, okay? It's to test the waters, to see how people are going to react to their big reveal, if it's not the big reveal itself, okay? So it's either it is the big reveal or it's the precursor to the big reveal. It's the leading up to it. They can say, hey, look, remember Three Eye Atlas? Look at all the weird things it did. Well, it's back, and it turns out it was an alien spaceship. So guess what? Okay, now let's break down what's actually happening a little bit deeper because I just kind of glanced over it a little bit. Because in my opinion, the truth is way more interesting and way more disturbing than either side likes to admit. So they say Three Eye Atlas was at its closest approach to Earth, October 29th, and it brightened dramatically. It turned blue, brighter than the sun, bluer than the sun, I should say, okay? Natural comets don't do that. They don't. They get redder from dust. And this is according to science, by the way. If you believe science or you don't, whatever, I'm just telling you what science says. So they're saying that blue suggests that either massive CO2 emissions or it's an artificial light or artificial heat source, okay? And he's also saying, this is Avi Loeb, by the way, that there's no visible comet tail despite showing non-gravitational acceleration, meaning it accelerated when it shouldn't have because it wasn't in a gravitational pull of a different planet. So what happened? It took off out of the blue, and they don't have an explanation for why it accelerated. So the translation there, Loeb is saying that something's pushing it, okay? It's got propulsion. It's self-propelled. Loeb is also saying that the nickel ratios seen in this are extremely high. It's a manufactured nickel. It's an industrial alloy that doesn't appear in nature. He's saying that nickel does appear in nature, and it comes from, meteor impacts and stuff like that. However, the very specific makeup of this nickel is far too advanced to be, a random composite that was placed from somewhere else in our universe. He's saying that this is very pure nickel, and there's far more nickel than iron, which it's usually the other way around, right? Comets are supposed to have the opposite ratio. And Loeb is also saying that one of the other weird things with this is that its trajectory, like I said before, is lined up in a very specific way with our solar system, with the ecliptic plane of our solar system. And he's saying that that's a 0.005% chance that a interstellar object would come into our solar system and hit that very specific trajectory that it's on. It's 0.005 or whatever it is chance. So extremely low likelihood that this could naturally come into its trajectory like that. That's another reason he's saying. He said it's like rolling the dice and you get 10 snake eyes in a row, okay? Sure, it's statistically possible, but it's unlikely, extremely unlikely. And just to be clear, Avi Loeb isn't saying specifically, yes, 100% it is aliens, but he's saying that there's a high likelihood that it is. He's not ruling it out, but he's saying there's more evidence showing this thing to be alien than there is showing it to be a natural comet. So it's a scale, and he's not ruled out the fact that it could be aliens, according to him. He's saying that we can't rule it out and that we should investigate. And you know what? On like a general sense, I agree with that. We should investigate everything. So here's the thing with investigation. Who's doing the investigation? Who's paying for it? Who does it benefit? And who gets to release the findings? Because all these things are very important when it comes to investigations, okay? And he's saying on December 19th, which is basically a month from now, that it's going to be the closest point to Earth. And at that point, he's going to find out a lot more, and science in general will be able to see a lot more about it because they're going to be able to observe it more clearly. And again, guys, mainstream scientists are saying it's a comet, yes. Is it unusual? Yes, but it's natural. They're saying 100% it is natural. But they're pointing to like water and ice detection, some outgassing that can be detected. And they also argue that the anomalies that Loeb's talking about can be explained by our lack of data from other interstellar objects. They're saying we've only seen 3 of them, so we don't have enough data to compare this to the other ones. So yes, while it is strange, we don't know how strange it really is. Okay, so like always, mainstream scientists is they're doing their job. Just like last time, remember Umanuma? That weird cigar-shaped tumbling object that came through our solar system that Avi Loeb said was probably an alien mothership? Well, that's the same thing, the same situation, except for this one is a little bit closer. It's coming closer to Earth and it's doing even weirder things than that one did, right? According to him. Because at this point, it's a spectacle. Millions of views, hundreds of thousands of shares across social media. The algorithm loves it, okay? For some reason, it's pushing this out to people. Fear, mystery, aliens, government conspiracy. It checks every engagement box and it checks every PSYOP box too, okay? And here's where things get uncomfortable a little bit. Because regardless, okay, guys, regardless of what you think about it, regardless of what people say, regardless of whether Atlas is a rock or an alien spaceship, the reaction is what matters. It's how people behave. It's how people accept this information and what they do with it. Because they're studying us, make no mistake about it. They're gauging our response and they're testing the narrative. They want to see how this whole thing's going to play out. They know people will believe a Harvard professor that's saying alien technology, possible alien technology, okay? And yes, millions of people do believe it. Will people panic? We'll see. Some people will probably demand some government action, and there are people who will accept an authoritarian response to this, that authoritarian measures will be actually okay in this situation. Because if they're scared enough, history says, yes, people are willing to give up their freedoms for safety. This has been demonstrated time and time again throughout all the major wars, throughout every single major event throughout history. The regular people will literally give up all of their freedom and everything they have to the powers that be, as long as they can remain safe and well fed and warm and all these things, okay? Because every single major expansion of government in world history has come during a crisis. Real or manufactured, it's always what they use. And who was it that said that we shouldn't let a good crisis go to waste? So like I said, real or manufactured crisis, it doesn't matter, because they're trying to figure out would an alien threat actually work. So if you didn't know about Project Bluebeam, okay, of course I'm going to bring that up. I have a whole video on it. It's a book. It was written by a journalist. I read the whole book in the video. Just type in on my channel, Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam is a supposed government plan in order to trick the world that an alien invasion has occurred. And they're going to be using technology, different things to project images to people, and audio as well, convincing people that their Messiah has shown up. Okay, that Jesus is back, Muhammad, whatever it is. There's a whole religious aspect to Project Bluebeam. Now, as Christians, we know that that's laughable, okay? Because when the Lord returns, every single eye on the face of the earth will see him all at one time. Not only that, he's going to be coming with the armies of heaven with him, millions and millions and millions of heavenly angels. And they're going to come with a sword, and there's going to be a lot of bad days, let's just say, for the people that don't follow him and for the demons that do run the world. It's about the concept of tricking people, of fooling the public that a certain alien event happened in order to seize control. Because while the whole world is looking up, nobody's looking down or nobody's looking at what's actually happening, because they're focused on this singular event and they're asking for it. Honestly, they're saying, hey, let's band together and let's fight off this alien threat together, like Independence Day.
But as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night, today we celebrate our Independence Day.
So what if this is a plan, though, really, and they're just waiting for the right moment? And what if this whole Jeremy Corbell 2027 thing is Three Eye Atlas, right? They're saying 2027. Well, what if they announce it now saying 2027 is the date? Okay. And that's what I'm talking about here. So what's the end game? Okay. I mean, we've touched on it a little bit. And if you watch this channel, you know what the end game is. And we all really do know what the end game is. But what is it? And why would you want to condition humanity to expect alien contact? Well, there's a biblical perspective on this. There really is. Because Revelation 13 tells us that the beast, okay, the Antichrist, he's going to perform great signs and wonders, and he's going to call fire down from heavens. Everybody's going to see it, okay? He's going to deceive the inhabitants of earth. He's going to establish a mark which nobody can buy or sell without that mark, okay? And what better way to implement this by some huge collapse, by some huge catastrophe, by some destruction that destroys our old system. And this is the new system that comes up. It's a global system. It's a worldwide system, and it's run by one man who appears to be human. Everybody's going to love him, right? Whether he's a alien man or he's a regular man that comes up, from wherever and appears on the scene, and the whole world embraces him. Everybody loves him. And then something happens. He gets a head wound and people think he's dead, but he comes back to life, live on TV or whatever, and he starts performing these miracles for everybody. That's the moment that, let's just say, S will hit the fan in a major way, because this is the coming of the lawless one, and it will be in accordance with how Satan works. He will use all sorts of his weird powers, and as the Bible says, he can transform into an angel of light. He's going to use all that stuff. And think about what he did to Jesus. He appeared to Jesus and offered him the entire world, and he showed him the entire world in a moment of time. He literally brought him through all the kingdoms of the world just like that. So Satan has the ability to time travel. No, that's not the right word. Maybe open wormholes, dimensional shifts, travel dimensions, travel through portals, whatever you want to call it. Satan can, if he showed Jesus the entire world, all the kingdoms like this, I mean, it just gives you a hint of what his power is. So he has the power to deceive. He has the power to make people think something else than what the truth is. He has the power to appear as something else, right? He's not a big red guy with horns, right? And biblically speaking, he's beautiful. By all accounts, he was one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful angel. And he was jealous of humanity. So when he does appear, people are going to be awestruck by him. And they're going to want everything to do with him. And us believers, we're going to see right through his stupid little facade. And we're going to tell him, sorry, we're not joining your side because we worship Jesus Christ. And that's the point where he's going to take matters into his own hands and just eliminate us. But eliminating us just sends us to glory with our King when we come back to eliminate him again. So nothing he can do can hurt us. You guys see what I'm saying here? So he's going to, prepare this huge, great deception for us. And it's being prepared as we speak, according to the Bible. And this deception will be so great that it could deceive even the elect, right? And like I said before, I think one of the most logical ways for that to happen is an alien invasion narrative. Fake, real, it doesn't matter, because we know UFOs, I believe they're real, and I believe they are working for the dark side, and they are a part of that spiritual realm like we talked about. Think about it. What would make every single religion on earth, mainstream religions, right, mainstream people, question their beliefs? I know all of you watching, if you saw this happening, you wouldn't question your beliefs. In fact, you would be strengthened in your beliefs. You'd be emboldened because you would see these things happening, and you would know that time is running out in a good way because the Lord is coming back soon. Okay, because there is a group of Christians who really know what's going on, and they research and they see the world for what it really is. These people, the remnant, these are the people who will not be deceived. And I know you watching, you're one of these people, because you're way too smart to be deceived by this. So one of the easiest ways for them to unite humanity under one banner, under one government, under one rule, one power, one religion, one currency is this. It's an alien invasion. Another way would be, let's say, a massive nuclear war that takes everybody out, and the survivors are, they're brought into this new system. But it doesn't make as much sense, because a massive nuclear war is going to take out mostly everybody, and it's going to destroy the land. Okay, the land, you can't just, oh, let's go and rebuild now. No, this land is going to be destroyed for thousands of years. And any survivors that do exist, they're going to be isolated pockets of people. There's not going to be any electricity. There's not going to be technology left. Whatever's left, whatever's there, guns and ammo. Good luck when it runs out, because, our technology will be wiped out with the nuclear war for the most part. Now, people in bunkers, there's going to be some COG stuff going on, and some people in bunkers that are surviving. But that's not enough to deceive the whole world, to get everybody on this new system right away. It would take a very, very long time. And the timeline of that is, I think, far beyond anything that's biblically accurate. So one of the only ways that I can see this happening, biblically speaking, is through an alien event like this. An alien event, okay? The bottom line is they. Who's they? Ephesians 6:12. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, and against spiritual wickedness in high places. They, those spiritual beings, those cosmocrators, as they're called in the Greek, they are the ones that are running this whole thing, according to the Bible, and I believe it. That behind every world power, behind every evil person, behind everything in the world that happens bad, that may happen to you or somebody else, or the overarching theme of everything, behind all of that is spiritual powers in heavenly places, fallen angels, evil spirits that are guiding humanity. This is biblical, people. So they are behind everything. That is the they here, okay? Spiritual forces. They want people confused, and they want people compliant. They want people confused, they want people compliant, and they want what they want. They want to steal the souls of humanity.